Yeah, and where was that? That was somewhere in the third quarter of the game, I feel like. The second play in the fourth quarter. I really thought from a second half standpoint, I really just thought we were outstanding. Even the first drive of the second half, you drive the ball the length of the field, and I know we end up missing the field goal, but I really felt like our efficiency, through in really all phases in the second half, that's the best we've been. And, I think there's times where over the course of the last couple of weeks, we haven't been as efficient in the second half. You saw some positive things and some really good things happen, but the ability to finish a football game, the ability to put a second half together, probably the best growth that we've had. And I think those are all positive things for us. And again, I've seen this team continue to grow forward throughout the entirety of the season. And I think today, the ability to put it all together was a great reward for this group, certainly our senior leadership, I think our coaching, and obviously the development and continued growth of our young players in our program.
You stuck with this, the running backs publicly. Talk positively about them and today's.
Yeah. And I just think, number one, health. I think, for a guy like Cartavius, this was really his second game of his career. Last week was the first time he's played a game and played in all four quarters of a football game. And so, I thought it was another big step forward for him. You're talking about a rookie football player that, playing in his second full football game of his collegiate career. And I think we see a young man that continues to really grow in practice and really continues to be a great asset to the future of our football team and the now of our football team. Dion, I'm really happy for, because I think that guy, literally every step of the way, he's been outstanding for us. And the role that he has provided, he's provided spark, he's provided efficiency. And, I'm really happy for him, because in a football game today, I thought his play was kind of one of the big sparks in the football game that he makes. So, we believe in those guys. I really think that it's a very talented room, and, it stunk for Jirel to go down. I do think he will be okay. He was able to dress back out and, probably would have been available in an emergency situation. But, I think the rallying of those two young players was great to see. And, I thought the efficiency in the second half, especially of the offensive line and our tight ends, those are areas where when you talk a run game, it's just not the tailback. It's also those other pieces that are critical for your success. And I thought there was at least an efficiency in the second half of the game.
You helped them off the field. That kind of gave some impression that maybe this was it.
Yeah.
Especially when they carted him out.
Yeah, it looked bad, and he was in a lot of pain, and so I think the positive is, man, he is as tough as they come, and I think for Jirel, it's a situation where it's a little bit of bad luck, and but he's a tough cookie, and my guess is he'll be ready for us next week and continue to move forward.
Hey, Matt.
Man, I don't know if I can say enough great things about Xavier. We wouldn't even have a chance to be where we're at today, even this team, without Xavier Hutchison. And you guys see the production, and those are all great rewards and awards that he is garnering. But what I see is the kid that comes to work every day like he is a guy that's chasing greatness consistently. And whether it's how many times have I talked about the first winter workout I watch that kid work, to how I watch him train and practice on Tuesday and Wednesday. And man, none of us are perfect, but man, that guy chases perfection and greatness daily. And what a great reward, the play that he makes today. I couldn't think of a more fitting way to kind of turn our season right back around, with X making that great play. And obviously it was a heck of a throw by Hunter. But I'm really proud of him, and all those things are great. I think the greatest thing is the leader that he is, and I think this entire senior class, all those seniors made plays again today. Orion Vance, a couple sacks. Anthony Johnson continues to make great plays. Kendall Jackson makes plays. Colby Reeder's back, makes some big plays. And it's like I said, the faith that our senior class has had in this program their leadership and this team and not bagging it and only continuing to lead forward, I think that's really one of the great stories of what this team's got the ability to continue to do and certainly what they've done.
You mentioned the tight ends in the run game. What kind of stood out to you most about their overall performance, and where have you really seen Deshaun grow throughout this year?
Yeah, ask me the question on their overall performance on Tuesday, all right, in the running game. Now, let's go to Deshaun. I really thought Deshaun, again, Deshaun is one of those guys that works really, really hard. And he is a guy that is passionate about the sport, has transformed his body, has waited his turn, and I do think when we have played well, he has made big plays for this football team. And again, his play that he makes is phenomenal, but I think he's a guy that continues to have great work ethic and a guy that has earned trust by our coaches and our players on this team. And so I am really proud of him. And again, it looked like our tight ends played really well today. We need those guys to play well. That's a key piece of the success of our football team. And again, I'll give you a more correct answer on Tuesday.
Matt, you've talked a lot about needing to not only maintain momentum but seize it when it's there, and I think that's where that roughing call gave you.
Yeah.
And then Deion gets the big run, the touchdown with Hunter and X. Was that what that meant? I mean, just to be able to do that and sustain that then down to the end.
Yeah, momentum is created in the moment, Rob, and I think for us, my challenge a little bit to our kids, and I think I talked to you guys about it, right? The two common themes of the last couple of weeks of us not getting where we wanted to go were momentum and not winning the moment and the football, right? And I think when you look at the moments, you're either confirming who you are or you're trying to transform yourself forward. And my challenge last night to our kids is, man, really our story is our story until it's not our story, right? And there's a whole lot of stories still to tell. And we have to understand that this is another great moment and we're either going to transform ourselves through it or we're going to confirm, who we are. And, I think for some of our really talented players, they continue to confirm exactly who they are. I think of a Hunter Deckers. I think of, what happened today with our running backs. I think of, what continues to happen on special teams. Man, we're transforming, and young players transform. That's part of the growth journey. And so I think the things that were great today is we did win the moments, and we had the ability to grow through it, transform through it. And it only happens if there's leadership at the top that the kids believe in. And we have that with our player-driven leadership. Like I told you, they shut me off real fast. But they listen to what Xavier Hutchinson says. They listen to what Orion Vance says. They listen to what Anthony Johnson says. They listen to what Trevor Downing says. And to me, it's November 5th. Man, the question, will you guys keep fighting? Can they keep fighting? My walls, I've seen them only continue to grow and fight and continue to learn. And, I think today happens because you see a transformational experience happen with your team because of the leadership. And we'll see where we can continue to take this thing.
The offense was able to both move the ball efficiently and take care of the football. How important is that going to be moving forward?
Well, I mean, obviously that's important in the sport of football, right? I think those are the things that we want to do. We work really hard to try to do, and when we do that well, we certainly play our best football, and I think it'll be critical to learn from this and continue to play that style of football moving forward.
I don't think we've asked you about the defense. What they're doing week in and week out? What is the level of difficulty of what they're achieving?
Yeah, I think it's really hard. And, I think you're right, Randy. Sometimes you take it for granted just how well they're playing. And, again, when you look at that defense and you look at Will McDonald, Isaiah Lee, you look at, what MJ Anderson has grown to do in our football team, in our program. Then you look at Gary Vaughn, Orion Vance. Obviously, getting Reader back was huge for us today. I think that guy, that guy has played great football for this team, and that was a tough loss for us to have to navigate. And, just having him back, I think, was huge momentum for that defensive unit. And then you look at what Anthony Johnson and Bo have done and, what TJ continues to do and Miles continue to do. Man, those guys are playing great football. They believe, they're consistent. And they're giving us certainly a chance to win every football game, and a lot of veterans, a lot of guys that have played a ton of snaps, but they just keep improving and they keep continuing to find ways to get better, and that's huge for our program and it's huge for our team.
Have you guys had a secondary since you've been here that you feel like can control the game, like with this group now?
You know, obviously, Jared, I would tell you no. You know, I don't think we've ever had all the pieces playing at a consistent level. And, you know, again, I would say, man, you go back to last year, and TJ and Miles are probably playing like you've seen some young guys on offense play this year, right? Man, there's flashes of greatness, and then it's just, it's still growing. And, man, what those two have become have been phenomenal because they care. It's important. You know, then you look at Bo, and the ringleader of the whole thing is Anthony. And, you know, how he's worked to serve that group, it's been unbelievable. And so, you know, I think for us, when you have a bell cow and Anthony, and then you have all these talented young guys that have tried to live up to his standard of excellence and how you prepare, how you practice, how you come to work every day, and they're really talented, man, elite things can happen. And you know, the tribute is to him, and certainly the tribute is to them to want to continue to raise their level to play elite football in our secondary, and we're doing it.
All right, I think the players are ready to go.
All right, guys, thank you.